John Browning was a master gun designer. He designed and made his first gun at the age of 13. I have here on my shoulder the last gun John designed. It later achieved the reputation of a singular American legend. It survived the Great Depression, World War II, and it later became the most reliable shotgun ever made. The Browning Superposed shotgun. I'm River Bay, and welcome to my gun kingdom. Pull! I wanted to talk a little bit more about when I mentioned that my dad and uncle and their friends used different rules when they shot Skeet back in the 50s and 60s. You know, when Skeet was first invented, the guy actually that invented Skeet had a dog kennel, and his dogs were trained for quail hunting, things like that. So, you know, he invented the game to improve your skills at hunting. And so when I talk about the rules, you might think that I'm talking about international skeet. They didn't shoot international skeet because they shot the American skeet, but they used low gun and delayed targets. So it was kind of a combination. It wasn't totally international skeet. And they used, skeet as a way to tune up for hunting. And I mentioned that in the video too. But, when you walked up on the dog, because we had Brittany Spaniels, and my dad and uncle raised Brittany's. And, when we would hunt with our Brittany in the field, we didn't walk up to her with an up gun because we wouldn't be able to see where we were going, and we could trip over, brush or whatever. It'd be dangerous. So we would walk up with low gun. So that's the reason they practice skeet low gun. And also the safety was on when we walked up to the dog. So when the bird would flush, we would turn the safety off as the bird flushed. And then we would bring the gun up in this upright position here when the bird was taking off. So that's why they practiced skeet that way. So I didn't want you to get the wrong impression thinking I was talking about international skeet. So the clays weren't flying at 65 miles an hour like they do in international skeet. They're flying like they do for American, which is around 40, 45 miles an hour. So after that, then also I wanted to talk about, this Browning Superposed more. Now you can buy weights that can either be attached by adhesive tape, and you can slide them in different positions up and down the barrel, or you can buy the ones that clamp onto the barrel and move those in different positions too. If you want to shoot this, to get sustained lead. But this gun wasn't made for sustained lead. In fact, I was very disappointed when I first got this gun. I was disappointed in myself, not the gun. There's nothing wrong with the gun. It's just the shooter. And, I didn't make this video to show you that I can hit 25. I couldn't, I made it to show you what's real to life and what it's going to take. In fact, I tell you in the video when I miss a shot and when I get a shot. And since I oversaturated some of the frames in order for that orange hub, the white flyers that Camp Perry throws, they're all in the orange hubs. So you'll be able to see when I hit the target a lot better than if I wouldn't have oversaturated it. So, but getting back to the part where when I first got this gun, I was disappointed in myself because I was shooting up gun instant targets, just like I did with the Citori 725. And I just wasn't getting sustained lead with this at all. And my scores were poor. So I had to rethink it. And then after I made this video, I'm like, well, this is what the gun's made for. It's more of a fast moving gun that is whippy. You can just whip it around real easy, and that's why it was designed for practicing, hunting doves and quail and things like that. And I wouldn't want to use it for pheasant hunting. I mean, you got all the time in the world when you hunt pheasant. And so we always use a 28-inch barrel for pheasant hunting and side-by-side shotguns. But and also I wouldn't want to take this afield because it's got a beautiful finish on it, but it's fun to shoot skeet with, and shooting it with those different rules that are similar to international skeet but not completely international skeet. So I think you get the idea that we just used low gun with delayed targets. Now, I find it more challenging to shoot low gun delayed targets. And, I kind of want to be true to my alliance of my father and uncle and all the hunting that we did in the past and all the training that we did with our Brittany Spaniels. And from now on, when I shoot skeet, I don't care about score. It's more about having fun and reliving the past with this superposed. And I guess if you wanted to hunt with one, you wouldn't have an older one like this. This is 1973, so you'd probably want to get a newer superposed and hunt with the newer one, and keep this just for shooting skeet with. And also I wanted to talk a little bit about the shells that I use too. These are Remington Gun Club shells. Now, I reload these myself, and I find this to be a perfect load for skeet. This is 9-shot, and also now when it's windy, I have 8-shot loaded too. So I find I do a little better with 8-shot in heavy winds, like 20 mile an hour plus. But anything under 15 miles an hour, I'll use a 9-shot. But I load this with 17 grains of red dot, and then I'll also use 1 1/8 ounce load. So that's what I use. So, and also when you shoot doubles with the Browning Superposed, you're going to find that, and you'll see this in the video, you're going to find that you really have to move on that second target. And sometimes you'll see in the video that I would get the low house, but I wouldn't get the high house. And if I would miss the low house, it was because I was trying to move too quick off of it to get that high house. So that's going to take some practice for me to do. And I just hope you leave in the comments, below, your experience if you've shot with a superposed, and or even tell me what other gun you shoot skeet with. But that's what I wanted to talk to you about and clarify. But I hope you continue watching the video, and always I appreciate you watching. Thank you. So let's talk about this Browning Superposed. This is a 1973, and it does have a 26.5-inch barrel from here to here, and it does have Skeet fixed chokes. And the way you can tell what chokes came on these guns is on the sides of the barrels, underneath the ejectors. There's symbols, and you look those symbols up, and you find out what the gun is choked for. Okay, it is a 2 3/4 inch chamber, and it doesn't have a auto safety. So if you were to use this for upland bird hunting like dove or quail, you would always want to make sure that your safety is on until you're ready to shoot. So this gun, this Superposed, was actually made for shooting skeet. It is a grade 1, and for a grade 1 it has nice wood. And I don't think you would want to hunt with this particular gun since it has such a nice finish on it. You don't want to get scratches on it. So you might want to get a new gun for hunting, a newer Superposed, and then keep the older ones for either skeet shooting and put it in your gun cabinet or hang it on the wall for people to see. But I wouldn't necessarily want to hunt with this gun. And also I would hunt dove and quail with this gun, but for pheasant I would choose a 28-inch barrel, and we'll get that out here in a little bit. But anyway, John Browning started designing this gun before he passed away. Now, he didn't get it completely done. Val, his son, actually finished the trigger, I know for sure. So when they first came out, they had a double trigger. So Val changed it over to a single trigger. Okay, it weighs about 8 pounds. Like I said, it is chambered for 2 3/4, and it's a 12 gauge. Now the salt guns, they were from 1966 to 1972, and this gun has been disassembled and checked to make sure that it didn't have any salt. But this is a 1973, so this is a year later. Now, I grew up down the street from a conservation club, and my dad, uncle, and their friends all shot with these 26.5-inch barrel Superposed. Now, this isn't actually the gun that he shot with. His gun was actually made in the 50s. But I never heard him complain about sustained lead. I never heard about him complain about not having an adjustable stock. They just made them work. They were really accurate guns. And see, Skeet was developed first for actually practicing for upland game hunting. But the rules back then were different than they are now. So the rules back then were low gun, delayed pulls. Okay, nowadays it's up gun, instant pull. Okay, so that's the difference. The rules of skeet have changed. It's not necessarily the length of the barrels. A lot of people think, well, you know, my pattern's going to be much larger with a 26.5-inch barrel as compared to a 30 or 32-inch, and even a 28. But 3.5 inches from 30 inches, it's really not going to make that much of a difference. Okay, so, and this does have a recoil pad on it. I shoot light loads in it for skeet, so not using it for hunting, I don't really notice any major kick or anything like that. But they love these guns. I was pretty young back in the 50s and 60s, and I mostly just sat and watched the guys shoot these things, and I thought they were magic guns the way they performed. And they did quite well with their scores with these things, and they would shoot 25 in a row without a problem. So let's take a look at this one gun that I shoot skeet with quite a bit. And this is a Browning Citori 725 Pro. And this gun is fitted exactly for me. And I do pretty well with it. If I can practice 4 days a week, I can hit, usually an average of 22, 23 with this gun. And it does have ported barrels to release some of the recoil. And it is a 30-inch barrel. This is chambered also for 2 3/4. I don't think I'd want to hunt with this gun either because of the finish on the gun. And this is a heavy gun. This is 9 pounds. Okay, so the gun that I would hunt pheasant with would be this Benelli 828U. This has aluminum receiver, 28-inch barrel. It does have interchangeable chokes that can be taken out, and it has a lot of adjustments on this gun too, and this gun fits me also well. Now this gun has a automatic safety, so to shoot skeet with this gun, it would kind of be a pain, because you'd always have to remember to take your safety off, as opposed to those two guns behind me. But this is an excellent field gun. It's made for hunting, so 6.5 pounds. You can carry it all day long, and you don't get tired carrying it. It does not have ported barrels, but it is very light and has a nice recoil pad on it. So anyway, let's get set up and let's go shoot this Superposed. This is the only gun we're going to shoot today, but let's shoot this Superposed and see how it performs here. Okay, we're at Station 1. And now we're going to shoot this Browning Superposed much like they did back in the 50s and 60s. So I'm going to shoot low gun delayed targets. Okay, so let's see how we do. And I am not a professional by any means, but we're going to give it our best shot here. And also, I am coming from a Browning 725 shotgun as opposed to this one. So let's just load one shell at a time, and we'll arm the high house. Pull. Above it. Pull. Got it. Low house. Pull. Got it. Pull. Got it that time for sure. Let's call for the low house. Pull. Got that one too. Okay, we're at Station 2. And before I shoot this station, I want to tell a little bit about the shells I'm using. Of course, these are 2 3/4 12 gauge. And I load them myself, and I use 17 grains of red dot along with an ounce and an eighth load. And these are 9-shot. Now the 8-shot I've had better luck in heavy winds with over the 9-shot, but today the winds are probably around 12 miles an hour, so I'm going to use 9-shot. And I like to shoot with when I shoot singles, I like to shoot with the top barrel. So I have the top barrel selected. Pull. You got that one. So what I'm feeling right now with this gun is it does have an advantage of shooting low gun and a delayed target. Now, I've shot this gun before today, and I've shot up gun instant target, and I didn't do as well as I'm doing today with this gun, especially on the high house station 2. This is normally a tough station for me to shoot. And also when you're right-handed, it's a little bit more difficult to follow the lead swinging over to the right. I have better when I swing to the left and look for the target. So this gun definitely has an advantage when you shoot low gun delayed target. So let's go ahead and shoot the low house. Pull! You got that one. Okay, so let's call for a double here. So I'm going to shoot the high house first and then the low house. So we're going to load 2. Pull! Got both of them. Okay, so that was station 2. Let's move on to station 3. Station 3, let's call for the high target. Arm the target. Pull! I missed that one. I didn't get on it fast enough. Okay, so I gotta bring the gun up a little faster. Let's call for another high house and see how we do on this one. Arm the target. Pull! I was behind it again. So let's call for a low. Arm the target. Pull! Should have got that one. The wind's out of the south, out from behind me, so it's blowing the targets away from me. Let's call for another low house. Pull! Got that one. Let's call for another high house. Pull! I got that one that time. Got out a little bit in front of it more. Gave it a little bit more lead, almost probably 4 feet. Okay, here we are at station 4. This would be the middle of the semicircle. Again, we only shoot singles here. High house first. Safety is off. Now, the only reason I'm saying safety is off is to remind myself, because when I change the positions of the camera and I put the gun on the rack, I automatically put it on safety because I close the gun. So otherwise, if I was just shooting around a skeet continuously without stopping to move the camera, then I would leave the safety off. So let's call for a high target. We will arm the high house. Pull! I got that one in the tail. All right. Let's arm the low house. Pull! I missed that one. That really climbed on me. Let's try that low house again. Again, we got about 14-mile-an-hour wind, so it slowed down and went really high up there. Arm the low house again. Pull! Got it. That time it stayed down low. Okay, so that's station 4. But let's go ahead and move the camera behind me. We're still at station 4. See if you can pick up the birds from this position. Let's go ahead and load one. Arm the high house. Got that one in the tail. It actually pulled on the close of my gun. So when we shoot this low house, I'm going to go ahead, before I arm the target, I'm going to go ahead and close my gun. Arm the target. Pull! Missed that one. Let's do another low house. Pull! Got that one. So let's call for another high house while we're here. Station 4. Let's see if I can shoot it a little bit sooner than that. Arm the high house. Pull! Got that one. Well, here we are at station 5. So we're just going to shoot one at a time here on station 5 also. Let's arm the high house. Pull! I think I got the tail end of that. Let's try to shoot a little faster. Pull! I missed it that time. Let's call for a low house. We'll come back to that high house. Pull! Missed that one. Let's call for another low house. Pull! Got it that time. So here we are at station 6. Now we shoot doubles on this station after the singles. Let's call for a high house single. Again, arm the high house. Try it again. Oh! And I got that one. That's about where you want to shoot it when you're shooting doubles. So it's good to practice letting it come over to here a little bit about 10 feet before the low house. Let's shoot the low house single. Arm the target. Oh! Let's shoot doubles here. Oh! I got the low house that time, but not the high house. So let's move on to station 7. So here we are at station 7. This station we shoot doubles too, but we shoot the singles first. High house first. Missed it. Try it again. Okay, let's arm the low house. Oh! Got that one. I had to wait because the wind really picked it up about 5 feet. So let's shoot doubles here. It did not throw the high house. It threw the low house only, so we'll have to try it again. Oh! I got both targets on that one. I had to move fast on that high house after I got the low house. So that's station 7. Let's move. So even though the game of skeet has changed over the years from the 50s and 60s, the Browning Superposed shotgun can still be enjoyed at the skeet field. And even though you might not show up to a competition with one of these guns, it's still fun to enjoy just the history of these guns. And, you know, it's not that you couldn't show up to a competition with them, and if you do, let me know in the comment section below and tell me what your results are. But mostly these guns are just to enjoy and for a game of skeet, and maybe you want to do a low gun delayed pull with them and see how you do. But if you're coming from a longer barrel, heavier gun, then it's going to take some while to practice with this gun to be proficient with it as you were with the other guns. So just be patient. But these guns, you know, back in the 50s and 60s, they did very well with them. So, and the only reason they don't have the shorter barrels much anymore for skeet is because the manufacturers follow the trends, and the pros want the longer guns, and so also the public follows what the pros shoot. So there's not much demand for shorter barrel shotguns anymore, especially 26.5-inch barrels. But anyway, they're a great gun to go out and shoot and enjoy with your friends. So anyway, if you like this video, make sure you click the like button and hit the subscribe button. There's always more content coming up. And also leave me a comment and let me know what you shoot skeet with. But anyway, I appreciate you watching as always. Thank you.